Whose cuisine will reign supreme? Basically, this game is you control a sort of Protoss zealot slash celebrity chef, and you're running through the level trying to defeat your opponents, also while making extreme cooking cuisine. So if you haven't had a chance to play it, check it out. The next one, Left to Die. Obviously, Blizzard is a fan of a lot of other games out there as well, so we like to do a little tributes from now and then. Basically, this game is a multiplayer version of, I think it's the Hansen 2 mission from Starcraft 2 Wings of Liberty, where you hold up during the evening, the Zergi slash zombies invade, and by day you go out and you try to cleanse the realm of all the evil beasties. Star Jeweled. And we had a better name for it, but WoW already took it, so we kind of just went with Star Jeweled. But basically, this game is one of your jewel-crushing games, matching up jewels, smashing them, lots of pretty effects. But also, when you do that, you get cash. And when you have cash, you can buy troops. And when you have troops, you can send them against the enemy and smash their castle area. And last but not least, Blizzard Dota. Have you guys had a chance to play this yet? Guess not. Okay. Obviously, we're all fans of the Dota game, and also it gave us a great chance to recreate a lot of our old Warcraft 3 heroes that we made years and years ago and bring them together with characters we have in the Starcraft universe. So you have Raynor and Kerrigan and Zeratul fighting Blade Masters and Abominations and Tauren Marines. That's pretty kick-ass in my opinion. So, will there be Diablo in there? We shall see. So now I'd like to turn it over to Mr. Alan Dilling, lead artist.
Hey everybody, my name is Alan Dilling, lead artist on StarCraft 2, and today we're going to talk a little bit about some of the models and some of the artwork we did for these mods in more depth. Like Sammy said, Left to Die, obviously we had some fun inspiration for it, and we got some new zombified models. Basically for all these mods, we didn't just take the base campaign art and do minor tweaks. We actually made a lot of new art from scratch as well. We got really psyched out about the stuff, and we had a blast playing in the office. So just to run through some of these. Now if you play the demo back there, you're going to recognize some of this stuff. We took the Baneling, for instance, and he's really scaled up in this version. So we call him the Kaboomer, and so we added more polys. We rounded him off a little bit more, some more pointy things. Those are always good. And running through some more here. We took the Brutalist from the campaign you might recognize. Made him the Hunterling. We gave him some wings, gave him a good green zombified goo coming out of him. And basically he'll jump on he'll go over your troops, over the walls, everything. He kind of flies along and jumps on your head, so. We took the Infestor again, and we, kind of grayed out his texture, desaturated him a little bit, gave him like the pigpen and stink cloud around him. And he's now the Choker, and he's got these cool tentacles that come out and then snag units and pull them into you. Again, we kind of scaled him up, and you guys will see it again if you play the demo. And the Overseer, everybody loves, and with some tweaks, we got the Spotter unit. So we took out his eyeballs, gave him some crazy, smoke and goo coming out of him, some glowy bits, and then of course his big snout, and he shoots down huge acid spitballs on the enemy. So someone else to watch out for. And of course we have the Ultralisk. So this is our version. It's called the Stank. He's all gnarled up. He's got emissive glowies all over him, and again, all zombified and nasty. And basically, every time you see this guy coming to your base, it's basically GG. He just kicks your butt. But again, I encourage you guys to check out the demo back there. And of course, like Sammy mentioned, we have our version of Dota with all the cool hero models. And we took some of the ones from Warcraft and Starcraft, remodeled them, starting with, you guys might recognize some old school shots here from Sammy from Warcraft 3. We have the
kind of old, dude. Come on.
You've improved a lot since then. That was kind of crappy, actually, dude. So we got the Dwarven Mountain King and the Blade Master. And Sammy did a new concept here, which is more of a Dark Templar version. So we kind of got the fusion between StarCraft and Warcraft again. And here's the model. So basically from the Warc 3 version to this one, it's probably about, I'd say about 4 times as many polygons, almost twice as many bones. So he's a lot more dynamic, a lot more flexible. And we have 2 versions you'll see here. We kind of have the light and the dark side. Again, I have the orange and the blue for all the units across the game. So one is a little more traditional, and the other one has like the Zerg skulls on them, more like the evil side. And here's a textured version. Again, we have all the cool shaders, you have the speculative on them, you have the environment mapping, you have the energy run down the sword, and again, much more detail in all these models. And Jay later on will show you how these guys move in action. And of course, the Mountain King. So this time we merged him with our version of the Marauder, so it's kind of a Dwarven Marauder, basically. And again, we have the evil version and the good version. You got the cool spikies and the huge swords. Actually, right now he's also a range unit, but we're working on getting him into a purely melee state. Basically, he came out so awesome. We're like, this guy just looks like he's a world beater. He's got all these great weapons, and so we keep working with the designers to try and make him pure melee damage only. Another one here you guys might remember from Warcraft 3 and WoW is the Abomination. So we have a new concept here from Trevor Jacobs, one of our other lead artists. And again, the model is very detailed, a lot more than we ever had in Warcraft. On the left, you'll see kind of more of a Terran motif on him. He's got like armor on him. The other one has a big like Ultralisk blade he uses to cleave people, and he's got the Hydralisk skull and everything. And again, the textured versions. These guys did a great job. We had a blast making all this stuff. Like, we guys really geeked up about it. We know there's a lot of cool mods out there the community's making, and we get so excited seeing that stuff. We had a chance to actually contribute to this, and we love it.
Yeah, we had been working on Starcraft Wings of Liberty for about, what was it, 20 years, guys? 21? We ended up doing basically all these mods. We started right after, so in the beginning of August, and we had to wrap it up for Blizzcon. So just a couple months, we banged out these 4 levels plus some more that you're going to be seeing in the near future. But that just goes to show you like what can be achieved when you got a bunch of geeked up artists working on some kind of fresh little property. In 2 months, we had these 4 little maps that you guys have been playing today.
So how come we worked on these? Isn't that going to slow down the expansion?
I don't know. The expansion will be ready when it's ready, right?
That's what I hear.
Hopefully before 2012. That's when the end of the world is, right?
That's right. That's our deadline, basically, right there. BattleNet goes down 2012. Also, we got some other fun things in here. Like, you guys noticed this guy from Warcraft, World of Warcraft. So we brought him in, remodeled him from scratch, added a lot more detail to him, and have our own version of Grunty. So you'll notice him again in the game waddling around, and he's super fast, actually. So we had a lot of fun doing this kind of stuff because it's kind of outside the norm and the typical rules we have for Zerg, Protoss, and Terran. So we got to kind of flex a little bit and have a little more creative fun. And Sylvanas, of course. Couldn't do anything without her. Was that for Sylvanas? Random screams. Woo! Again, we have the regular version and the Banshee version, the undead. So again, lots of detail. We had a blast making these things. Here's the textured versions. So if you play here in the game, make sure to get the speed and dexterity upgrades. By the end of the level, like if you're like level 10, 15, she's running around, you can't even catch her. So we had a lot of fun.
That sounds unbalanced.
You have to talk to the designer panel about that. All I know is just I select her every time. I think you guys also recognize the Tauren Marine here. He also makes a cameo in the campaign, in case you guys haven't missed that. I think it was a Rain or 2. If you catch him, he'll run into an outhouse and it takes off into space. So go back.
It's hidden up on top of the Zerg base. Yeah, he'll run into the outhouse and blast off somehow.
It's magic.
Gas propelled.
Yeah, exactly. Here's the final textured version with all his glory and his lightning effects and everything. Yeah, he's also a badass unit to play in the game. He's very tough, kind of slow, but very powerful. And of course, Irish Chef. We have to have a new chef character, so we took our awesome zealot, gave him a little chef's hat, he's got a frying pan, he's got his bib with some decals on it, you know. And what is a chef without his utilities here? He's got his hockey stick, he uses that in the kitchen all the time.
What do you cook with a hockey stick?
I don't even...
How about rice checks?
Oh!
Thank you. That was a hockey joke. It's California, no one watches hockey.
Nobody plays hockey out here. What's that? What's ice?
There's the fan. All right.
So again, we had a lot of fun with this one. There's tons of cool stuff we made, even made new console interfaces for all these mods. So you notice on this one, when you load it up, it's actually the Protoss console, but it's got all sorts of like, you know, chef's knives everywhere and pots and pans and a grill and a stove hanging on top of it. So again, check it out. And we got a few new effect spells we put in for this stuff. Again, ground up, we did a ton of work over the last few months on this stuff. So it's kind of fun to go back through on the effects side and actually remake some of the things we've done, you know, what, 6 years ago in Warcraft. So a little bit more detail and kind of redoing some of the same stuff we did back in the day, just a little more oomph. Here we go. This is actually the level up ability. Going through, so this is also your player death. So usually we have the guys stumble around. We have some really cool animations. Jay usually does that the guy's dying. But for this mod, we want to make sure it's very obvious when a hero dies for two reasons. One, you want to be able to see exactly what's happening and when your characters or your teammates are going down. The other one is it just feels a lot more rewarding when you see this huge blast of energy and plasma just shred somebody to death. So a little more rewarding and fun. And again, since it is not the multiplayer side and the esports side of it, we kind of got to go off and make it a little more over the top, which is always cool. And of course, the Marauder has this Stormbolt. So it's not quite as big when you play the game, but
I keep suggesting that this is a new epic level mount in World of Warcraft. Just a giant thrill hammer.
Ride your hammer in the battle. What else? And last we have the Thunderclap also from the Marauder Dwarven Mountain King. So this thing is huge in the game. He stuns everybody, takes massive damage. Use it all the time, basically. Level that thing up first. And now I'll turn everything over to Jay Hathaway, our senior animator.
It's Jay, guys. Come on.
Thanks. So yeah, we're showing off the animations that we did for the hero mods. And as an animator, what I usually do is when I get a character, what I really love to do and what really geeks me out is I look at him and I think, what is the coolest thing I can do with this guy? Like, how far can I push this unit to try to get, you know, life and maybe a little bit of humor out of it? So the first thing I do is I do a little bit of research. And a lot of times I'll just go to the modeler. The modeler, you know, just built this and textured it and put all his heart and soul into it. And they usually have a really good idea about what they want to see. So hello. Let's go back. Play.
Give it a second.
We must wait. When the Blade Master is ready, he will dance.
It should be on autoplay.
Yeah, it should be on. There he is. Awesome.
Woohoo!
So I went to Phil Gonzalez, who modeled and textured this guy, and I was asking him, you know, what are you thinking about this guy? And Phil said, well, he should be like a samurai fighting game. So right away I was like, oh, that's perfect. I know exactly what to do. So this guy has a very stoic stance. He's got super, super fast attacks. He has a really cool kind of crouch walk that he uses when he approaches a unit. And then there's the run. And the run is a little bit exaggerated and a little bit slow, but there's a purpose for that. And that's because in the game you see him really small. And you see him in 3/4 view. And so a little bit of an exaggerated run looks better in the game. And then also, the slow is for, the game plays in 2 speeds. There's regular speed and fast speed. And so you have to find a balance where it works between, you know, both. If you have him at regular speed and then you see him in fast speed, it kind of looks like a Benny Hill show. So you got to find a balance for that. Next we have Sylvanas, and she's based on WoW. She is fast, efficiency and speed. She has cat-like grace, and her run, once again, is a little bit slow, a little bit exaggerated, but when you see it in the context of the game, it works. It works really well.
Wanted to jump in real quick, too. If you noticed before, the Blade Master you saw was a red orc. That was actually a fel orc. We've made 2 different versions. For the blue side, it's a regular orc, Dark Templar Blade Master, and on the orange side, we have the fel orc, Dark Templar with the Zerg skulls and everything, Blade Master. So, as you're seeing here, this is Sylvanas as she was when she was a high elf, and then on the other side, she's the Dark Queen. So we have 2 different versions, so when you're fighting each other, you know which one is yours. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so next we have the Dwarven Marauder. He's based on the Marauder animations. This guy was a little bit hard to animate in that from a three-quarter view, he's kind of boxy, and it's hard to get a really extreme pose that reads in silhouette. And another thing is that, he's made of metal, so he doesn't really have a lot of appendages where you can get a lot of over